Hey, all, welcome to the weekly wrap up. We are back and live on Monday today.
On Monday and on YouTube, on X, and we're getting started in crypto. Everyone in the chat, say hello if you are with us, joining us live. Wherever you are, we've got loads to run through, actually, considering the market feels a bit quiet. I think you've got a lot lined up, Lise.
I do. I've asked all of you guys what you'd like to sort of see, what alts you want me to look at. And, you know, to be honest, everything looks pretty ugly at the moment, but we'll have a look anyway.
And that's the end of the wrap up. Thanks for joining.
No, it is not the end of the wrap up.
Oh,
so no. It is the start of the wrap up, and we're going to have a quick look at BTC. Have a look what's happening. Not a lot. So that's the end of BTC. No, only joking. If we can go to a chart, Josh.
Thank you.
So this is BTC. So potentially right at this very point in time, we have an inverse head and shoulders forming. So I've been talking about 85 to 87 for so long, it feels like, and it is possible we might get there. So it looks like we might see that fifth wave. So we're still in a third wave at the moment. So this is our third wave. This is our fifth wave of our third subwave. So we're in the fourth subwave. We've got a fifth wave to go. That should get us to that 85, 87 mark, which is that resistance. Then we come back and we're doing a fourth wave, a larger pattern fourth wave. So that means we're going to go back to sideways once we've had this fifth wave, and then back to sideways for a bit. September, October, we're looking like the actual bull run is going to start. So, but there's still money to be made in this market once this sideways is complete. So, you know, provided we hold these regions at the moment, and we can get this inverse head and shoulders happening, and we get to 87. Then, you know, alts are going to have a mini run. So alts are really getting to really oversold regions. So when we go and have a look at those, so we can have a look at Solana. We do look like we've got one more wave, probably on Bitcoin, down just to retest that previous low. And, you know, the same with Solana and with all of those sort of alts. We can see that we've got this C wave that has been forming. If you've been watching the weekly wrap up, you would know Solana has been doing this for quite some time. So this is a pattern that I've had for a while, and it was pretty easy to spot once we got these waves in here. So the wave count shows that potentially it's either an ABC or an ABCDE. We don't always get the D and the E wave, so it's always good to buy that C wave. The E wave is normally slightly higher anyway, so that's a good point to be buying very soon for Solana. Next one, which was one of our requests, is Ego. We are really on the last legs of this one, so it's come right back down to the support. It's done a 88% on the fib levels on the corrections. So it is about ready to go. So RSI on the daily is really low and ready to go. So I'm going to quickly zoom through because there's a whole heap of these at the moment that we've had requests on. FET is really low on the daily RSI, and we are just about to hit the golden zone. So in these fib levels, we generally get a bounce, especially when we get to the golden zone or the 786. We are almost here, and we're really low on the RSI. So that is a really good place to take a risk on FET. Keep that stop loss moving up though, just in case it does go down further to the 786. Raven RVN is on the 786 at the moment, needs to really hold this region or else it's going further to the 86. But it does look like it should get some volume coming in over the next little bit. And it's really, really low on the RSI. So that's a good sort of position that we know we're going to get some reversals happening fairly soon on these RSIs. BSV, because you guys love it and a lot of you follow me for that reason. I think I'm the only person that charts it. We're on a cross support. We've had a bounce on that cross support. Really, really needs to hold that region. It did 5 waves in this last one, so that was an impulse. So it's got a little bit more to go to that 786. 44 is a 786 in this region. So as long as it holds 44, it should look good. On the daily here, we still haven't crossed on the MACD, so we probably may see that 44 first before we go up. We have DGB. This is David in the GSIC group. He absolutely loves this one. I must chart it like so often. It has broken down from previous regions we were looking at. I am thinking it may go down to about 820082, and that should be a reversal point. It does look like it's putting the brakes on the RSI. So when we have a look at this region, I just want you to have a look at something here. So when it starts to get sort of like, okay, this is enough, I need to sort of get some momentum happening, we see this happening on the RSI. So that usually means that this is a reversal point on this chart. So it won't be far until DGB does turn around. Okay, so Jasmine, many of you asking, this one had an epic run. It's still got another wave left in this pattern. It's currently in a 4th wave. So at the moment, that 4th wave has pulled back only to the 382. Often they go to the 0.5, so that's at 3 cents. So anything between that 382 and the 0.5 is a good buy. So which is 33 to 3.3 cents to 3 cents. For Jasmine is a good region to be buying on. So one of the guys on Twitter said that this one has been really good. He's making some good dollars on it. Still looks quite nice. It's consolidating here. We can see that it's really consolidating in this region. When I put some fibs on this one, it had done quite a strong correction to the what, like I said, is the 618 and the 665, the golden zone. It also has support of the 200 MA here, and it's really hugging that region. So this is going to be one to watch. I think it's going to really break out soon. Potentially, I would be buying down to about 1.69 here, and it's at about 1.82. So it might have one more pullback before it actually takes off. I don't know if it's going to break the high yet, but that is kind of looking like this is still in a corrective phase. A lot of the alts are just completing patterns at the moment and, completing those 4th waves, but they still do have some green amongst the red. It's not all doom and gloom as yet. VET, VET. So this one has done a pretty serious correction. It's come back down. It's on support at the moment. Really needs to take off here to do either a D wave or an impulse. The 100 and the 200 are going to get across if that doesn't happen. And the other thing to look for is the reason this may have a reversal in this point is the MACD here is looking like it's going to cross. We have that pattern on the RSI that looks like it's putting the brakes on it as well. So it looks like we're just about to get a reversal on a lot of these alts. It doesn't look like they're going to have those excessive, forever bleeding patterns. So a little bit of hope. This is Telcoin, and this is, a lot of you guys love this. I don't know why. it pumps. It makes some good profits when it does pump. So hang on, I've got my fibs upside down. Let's just put that on there. We only want it on the wave 3 here. So we can see that we're almost come down. We're sort of just below the golden zone at the moment. So the 786 is 002192. That, and between where it is now and that region is going to be a good region to buy. It may get a small bounce here first, though. The MACD is starting to cross up. So that's something to watch as well. Blur, it has come down to the 786. Now this E wave could stop here because it has had a lower low on this last pattern. So it has broken below this C. If it does break lower than that pattern, it's going to the 86, which is 0.24. But I would say potentially we're getting a bounce here across the board sometime this week. We've been really red for quite some time. And I think rather than, whales will make us look like we're super bored and we're lost interest in crypto, I think we're going to get a bit of green just to keep you hungry. So this has got a potential 20% bounce. If it does break above that 20%, then this is a reversal on this blur. Quickly, we've got ENS. ENS we've had on a couple of weeks ago, and I said that the A wave was complete. We're in the B wave. So ENS is in a slightly different pattern where this is an ABC internal wave. So basically the A is complete. We're coming back down for a B, and then we'll go up for a C. So this is going to pull back for that B wave. So they're not all going up. Not everything's going up, but ENS has been bucking the trend, and it did go up. So this is Ribbon Finance. So it is really, 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 really getting into an oversold region. When we go up to our daily, we can see that we're just about to start. We've had a couple of touches to the base of the RSI, and this is looking quite good. Our break point is quite low, so it can go lower at 28 cents. And but this region, when we put some fibs on it, is sitting right on the 786. So potentially we've got a bounce incoming on this one as well. NIA is filling out sort of an ABC or potentially an ABCD. So when we look at that, so that's our ABC, A, B, C, D. Oops, missed one. Hang on. Do that again. A, B, C, D, E. Could have that potential pattern, which is just the sideways pattern that we've seen BTC doing for quite some time, just to give everything that longer corrective phase. These are fourth waves. So fourth waves take the longest. They're the most boring. They're the most, they test your patience. But potentially with NIA, that's a 71% bounce if it does get a bounce here. There are other patterns if this decides to break down, but, this is a similar pattern to what we're seeing on Solana. So it is likely that we're going to see that region. This is TAO, T-A-O. It is on at the golden zone, potentially a bounce here, bullish divergence. So worth a risk probably for a small bounce across the board. 25% potential. If it does break down from this point, it is going to the 786, and that is at 183. TIA, which is one of my favorites. This is one we did in the Moon Mag, and one that I do think you need to be holding for the bull run. So it has come back down. So this is basically, it's come back down to tested wave 1. It's sitting on that region. It's been bouncing around. So ideally, we want to hold this region for it to be, really to have that strength. The MACD on this daily is starting to, swoop up, which is a positive sign. So overall, these new patterns are fairly hard to sort of gauge, but the 786 is sitting at 6.35. Ideally, it would be good to hold the level that it's at now and see a bounce, but we'll wait and see. But 6.35 is still good overall on that one. Miro is again has come back down and touched the 786. It looks like it's completed a B wave in this region. It's come back down. So this wave will see one bounce probably to touch these MAs and then a further decline down to the 786 again before taking off. So Audi is almost finished its correction. It's come back down to the golden zone and it's had quite a strong bounce in this region. We want to be holding this area here. When we just look at this one wave, we can see that it's also sitting in the 618. So likely it's going to see a bounce here and hopefully that's the start of the next impulse for AUD. And starts that run happening. So yeah, okie dokie. Okay, I've got two more. Dusk, almost at the 618 here. That's quite a nice A wave. That's the B wave coming back down at the moment for that. So and touching the 618 again, and then hopefully we'll take off from here. As you can see on all of these alts, they all look like they've almost completed corrections. Obviously, they can still go down if something happens with BTC, or we get an alternate pattern on BTC and we don't get that bounce here. But yeah, it is across the board. We're looking really oversold and we've been red for quite some time. So we do need to see some bounces. Somebody asked for a 0, and the reason I don't have anything on this chart is because it's so brand new, and these charts, when they don't have any pattern formed, are literally, if you're looking at this for a long-term hold going into the bull run, you just want to be dollar cost averaging into this. It's not worth the time to actually, break this down and chart it because there's no pattern there. It hasn't got any pattern whatsoever. So yeah, for a long-term hold, if you truly believe in these coins, by all means buy them. DEGO coming back down, likely to touch that support one more time at about 211. And last but not least, Rose X. It did a beautiful 5 wave. So when we're looking at new charts, this is a perfect one to have a look at. It formed a complete pattern. So a 0 hasn't done that. It's only got 2 waves here. It doesn't have 5 waves. And then it's had quite a sideways pattern. Whereas Rose X has had quite a strong pattern. And obviously alts in crypto correct down to the 618 or lower. It has corrected lower, but it is looking like it's going to get a bounce soon. It's had bullish divergence for quite some time on this chart. When we drop it down to a 4-hour, we can see that we are really starting consolidation in this region and it's really holding on. So I think this is going to be one to watch over the next month or two, and just with some nice profit. So when I was projecting that earlier, it does look like we should be able to get to that, and that's about 300%. So just over. So that's really nice moves this one's going to see. So yeah, hopefully I've got them all.
Oh, we lost internet connection on your first chart. You'll have to do it all again.
Okay, I'm sure you would have told me that by the time I'd like got to like one or two.
I'm just kidding. Okay, wow, that was a lot of charts. In general, in the market right now, unless obviously you're a pro trader, is it worth trying to trade these coins, some of the coins you talked about, or is sitting on your hands still probably a good option to consider?
I think once we start seeing some green across the board on Bitcoin, so we can see Ethereum has been holding levels. So I think we're going to get those ETFs happening soon, and the money sort of really pouring into those. When we go to Bitcoin dominance, we're sort of stuck under that region. So I think once we start to see this breakout and we see that green happen, obviously alts are going to have one last little wave down once we see this dominance break out. And I think once you see that last wave coming down, that's the time you want to start buying. So because we're going to see a bounce across the board. Hopefully this week, but if not, it will be next week. So we can't stay red forever.
Excellent. That's exciting news. Okay, were there any other alts you wanted to do or anything else you wanted to say? I think we've
I
got
think
some
I've
good
said it all. So, it's kind of cool to see Bitcoin actually potentially having a green moment rather than dragging the whole market down with it. There are potential patterns where Bitcoin does continue down. Obviously, there's always alternate patterns, so that's why we have a stop loss. But yeah, it does look like we are getting a change in momentum. I watch a lot of the exchanges. I watch what they're doing with buying and selling and that sort of thing. You can watch all the wallets. BitInfo charts has all of that. So that does look as if that momentum's changing. Bitfinex have started buying. Binance have started buying. So that'll change momentum as well. The other thing is the miners have had their sell-off now, so that looks like they are ready and primed now for the next run of the bull market. So with that fifth wave up to about 87, then we'll see the last sell-off for the miners before the big run. So we haven't seen that major sell-off. So I think that will happen at that resistance that we've got at that 87 point. And so that's kind of what I'm seeing at the moment. But I am really hoping that Bitcoin holds this region and we see, a bounce. At least above 64 is what I would like to see Bitcoin holding.
Excellent. Okay. Well, all eyes on the market then. Until then, hopefully by next Monday, the next wrap up, we will have an answer to what Bitcoin's doing. But otherwise, thank you very much for your time, as always. And thank you, everyone, for joining us from around the world and especially in GSIC. If we didn't get to your chart and you're in GSIC, head over to live chat, pop it in there, and we should be able to catch it there.
Yeah.
Otherwise, anything else, Lise?
I think that's it. My voice is starting to go.
Right.
So.
No problem. We'll wrap up the wrap up there. Thanks everyone for joining. We'll see you again very soon. Bye.